Sales and use tax changes tend to arrive quietly, without the kind of attention given to income taxes or property taxes, yet for seniors they often cause more day-to-day damage than any other tax adjustment. When the rate changes, the impact shows up immediately at the register, on receipts, and in monthly spending totals. There is no waiting period. There is no phase in that matches retirement budgets. The cost appears instantly, and for people living on fixed incomes, that instant change can throw carefully planned finances off balance. Sales taxes are different from most other taxes because they apply to nearly everything seniors buy. Food, household supplies, clothing, medications, transportation, and basic services all become more expensive when rates rise. Even a small adjustment affects retirees more than working households because seniors spend a higher share of their income on necessities. There is little flexibility to offset the increase. When prices go up, the money has to come from somewhere, and for retirees, that somewhere is usually savings. New sales and use tax rate changes often follow broader budget pressure at the state or local level. Governments face rising healthcare costs, infrastructure expenses, and social service obligations. When revenue falls short, sales taxes become an attractive option because they are easy to collect and difficult to avoid. Seniors rarely hear this connection explained clearly. They only see higher totals on receipts and wonder why their money no longer stretches as far as it once did. Use taxes are especially confusing for retirees because they are less visible. While sales taxes are collected at the point of purchase, use taxes apply to items bought elsewhere but used locally. Online purchases, out-of-state orders, and certain services fall under these rules. Seniors who rely on online shopping for convenience or mobility reasons may be hit unexpectedly when use tax enforcement increases. The result feels like a surprise penalty rather than a planned expense. For retirees, the emotional impact of these changes can be as significant as the financial one. Many seniors budget down to the dollar. They track expenses carefully. They expect predictability. Sales and use tax changes undermine that sense of control. Each trip to the store becomes uncertain. Each bill feels heavier. Over time, that uncertainty erodes confidence and peace of mind. One reason sales tax changes are so disruptive is that they compound with inflation. When prices rise, the tax collected rises automatically because it is based on a percentage of the price. A higher rate applied to a higher price creates a double increase. Seniors experience this compounding effect more acutely because their income adjustments lag behind cost increases. Retirement income rarely keeps pace with real-world expenses. Another challenge is that sales taxes do not distinguish between luxury spending and necessity spending. A retiree buying basic groceries pays the same rate as someone buying non-essential items. This flat structure means seniors shoulder a heavier burden relative to their income. Each tax increase takes a larger slice of what they have available for essentials like food, utilities, and healthcare. Local sales tax changes add another layer of complexity. Counties and cities often adjust rates independently, creating a patchwork of tax levels. Seniors who travel even short distances to shop or receive medical care may encounter different rates without realizing it. This unpredictability makes budgeting even harder. A familiar store suddenly costs more, and there is no clear explanation provided at the checkout. For seniors who rely on public transportation or rideshare services, sales taxes can affect mobility. Transportation services are often subject to tax, and rate increases raise the cost of getting to appointments, grocery stores, and social activities. Reduced mobility leads to isolation, which has serious health consequences for older adults. A tax change that seems minor on paper can quietly limit independence. Healthcare-related purchases are another area where sales and use taxes hurt seniors. While some medical items may be exempt, many related supplies are not. Mobility aids, home safety equipment, personal care items, and over-the-counter products often carry sales tax. When rates rise, seniors pay more to maintain basic quality of life. These are not optional purchases. They are essential. Use tax enforcement has expanded in recent years, catching many retirees off guard. Seniors who purchase items online may receive notices later requiring payment of use tax. This retroactive feeling creates stress and confusion. Many retirees believe taxes are settled at the time of purchase. Discovering additional obligations later undermines trust and adds anxiety. Another overlooked aspect of sales tax changes is how they interact with fixed retirement income. Pensions and Social Security payments are predictable. Expenses affected by sales taxes are not. Each increase widens the gap between income and spending. Seniors may compensate by cutting back on nutrition, delaying purchases, or skipping social activities. These adjustments protect finances but harm well-being. Sales taxes also affect housing costs indirectly. Home maintenance supplies, repair services, and utilities may be taxed at higher rates. Seniors living in older homes face ongoing maintenance needs. When sales taxes rise, keeping a home safe and functional becomes more expensive. Some retirees postpone repairs, increasing long-term risk and cost. The psychological burden of constant small increases should not be underestimated. A single tax change may seem manageable. Repeated changes create a sense of financial erosion. Seniors feel like they are constantly losing ground. This perception affects mental health, leading to worry, frustration, and fatigue. Retirement begins to feel like a series of defensive choices rather than a period of stability. Another issue is transparency. Sales and use tax changes are often buried in legislative updates or local notices. Seniors may not learn about them until after they take effect. There is rarely a clear explanation of why the change occurred or how long it will last. This lack of clarity fuels distrust and makes planning difficult. For retirees on the edge financially, sales tax changes can be the tipping point. A small increase may force difficult decisions about spending priorities. Seniors may reduce medical visits, delay prescriptions, or cut back on heating or cooling. These choices carry health risks that far outweigh the revenue gained from the tax increase. The cumulative effect of sales and use tax changes is particularly damaging for seniors because they occur alongside other rising costs. Insurance premiums increase. Utility rates climb. Food prices rise. Each change alone may be manageable. Together, they create relentless pressure. Sales taxes amplify this pressure because they touch nearly every transaction. Another concern is how sales taxes affect caregivers and family dynamics. When costs rise, families may struggle to support elderly relatives. Seniors may hesitate to ask for help, fearing they are a burden. Financial strain can damage relationships and reduce quality of life. Sales tax changes also affect seniors differently depending on location. Retirees in areas with higher local rates face greater challenges. Those living near borders may attempt to shop elsewhere, but mobility limitations often make this impractical. Seniors without transportation options are trapped paying higher local rates. The issue of fairness arises frequently in discussions about sales taxes. While rates apply equally, the impact is unequal. Seniors with fixed incomes experience a heavier burden because they cannot increase earnings to offset higher costs. This imbalance rarely receives adequate attention when tax changes are proposed. Over time, repeated sales and use tax adjustments can alter retirement plans. Seniors may draw down savings faster than expected. They may reconsider long-term living arrangements. Some may feel pressured to relocate to lower tax areas, leaving behind communities, healthcare providers, and social networks built over decades. Understanding how sales and use taxes work empowers seniors to anticipate changes. Awareness helps retirees recognize patterns rather than feeling blindsided. When tax rates change, Seniors who understand the broader context can adjust expectations and advocate for consideration of fixed-income households. The challenge is not simply the amount collected. It is the unpredictability and persistence of these taxes. Once rates increase, they rarely return to previous levels. Budgets adapt to the new revenue, locking in higher costs for consumers. Seniors live with the consequences long after the original justification fades. Sales and use tax changes may seem technical, but their impact is deeply personal. Every receipt tells the story. Every shopping trip becomes a reminder that retirement security depends on more than income. It depends on how costs evolve around that income. For seniors, staying informed about tax changes is not about politics. It is about survival and dignity. Fixed incomes demand stability. Sales and use tax changes undermine that stability by introducing constant, unavoidable increases. Recognizing this reality allows retirees to engage, ask questions, and demand transparency. The future will likely bring more adjustments as governments search for revenue. Seniors should expect sales and use taxes to remain a favored tool. Preparing mentally and financially for this pattern reduces shock and stress. Awareness does not eliminate the burden, but it restores a sense of control. New sales and use tax rate changes may not dominate headlines, but they dominate daily life for retirees. Understanding their mechanics, anticipating their impact, and acknowledging their cumulative effect helps seniors navigate a system that often overlooks their vulnerability. Retirement should not be a constant exercise in damage control. Seniors deserve policies that respect the limits of fixed incomes and the need for predictability.